Welcome back to the Fortress of Solitude. We have another installment of My Adventures with Superman this week, so let's get right on into it. And the episode picks up with Jimmy Olsen's storyline from last week. Lois and Clark, after their revelation-filled episode, decide to put their differences aside for now to help their friend, fearing whoever has kidnapped the people using Livewire's tech also got Jimmy. So what exactly happened to Jimmy? Well, last we saw him, he was being carried off by a giant gorilla to a secret lab in the forest, a lab which is later on revealed to be CADMUS labs. Originally, I thought maybe Grodd or Ultra Humanite might be getting involved this time, but the reveal is 1,000 times better, as Jimmy has been taken by Monsieur Mala and the Brain, a bunch of Animal Man and Doom Patrol characters. I really have to applaud the writing team for giving us one hell of a left field swerve there, and something I didn't expect in the slightest. So Jimmy is kidnapped by these characters, and the Brain wants to kill Jimmy for stumbling upon their secret, but upon hearing how his friends abandoned him, Mala decides to listen to his story and bonds with Jimmy over the cool science tech CADMUS Labs has, showing Jimmy their lab and experiments. I really love how Mala and Brain are portrayed. They're like an old married couple, with Mala being the kind old lady who brings people home, while Brain is a very strict, no-nonsense old man who kind of wants to kill everyone. I'm surprised at how much they dived into the duo's past, and then also tied it back into the Task Force X storyline, as we find out that Task Force X were behind CADMUS Labs, and they end up destroying it with a black hole and turning Brain into the floating Brain we know and love today. The couple's endgame is to boot up a new black hole they have been developing and use it to go to another dimension, one where they will be accepted for who they are. Lois and Clark's investigation into Jimmy's whereabouts takes a turn when they unknowingly bring Task Force X back to the lab that they thought was abandoned, and Clark ends up losing his powers thanks to a strange red force field around the lab, a force field which is powered by the same technology that he's been getting flashes of Kryptonians from in the previous episodes. A running theme of the show so far is Clark being or feeling like a freak who is just trying to fit in and longing for a normal life with some normal friends and a normal job. This is the episode that all sort of culminates in when we meet Mala and Brain, more people who are different and are persecuted because of it. Clark uses the meeting to help him sort of get a stepping stone towards telling Lois and Jimmy why he never told them his secret and why he was so hesitant to keep it from them. There's also a really great bit near the end where Brain offers Clark a ride with them through the portal to join them in the new world away from everyone, but Clark knows he can't since he has to stay and help the people of Earth, even when they shun and fear him and what he can do. It's a fantastic encapsulation of Superman as a character. We also learn that the robots we've been seeing throughout the series who are working for Task Force X are actually OMACs, which is a very fun pull, and I'm intrigued to see what they're going to do with that going forward now that we know that they're OMACs. Jimmy ends up confronting his friends about what happened, and it's a wonderful little scene with Clark trying to reveal his identity to Jimmy and sort of bring it all out into the open, but it's revealed that Jimmy already actually knows that Clark Kent is Superman and just never brought it up because it seemed like a sensitive subject for him. Both Lois and Jimmy get a great moment during the battle to tell Clark that they never cared what he was, but more so who he is as a person. Like I said, it's a wonderfully done scene of friends just reconciling and coming together in the moment of need. The episode is capped off with Mala and Brain's black hole portal activating, and they get a really sweet moment together before heading through the portal to a new world. However, things get a little bit more sinister as the General has returned to CADMUS Labs with Anthony Ivo, now somewhat healed of his wounds and imbued with the parasite power and forcibly being used by Task Force X to sort out Mala and Brain's technology and how to use it, possibly to open a portal to wherever they went so they can investigate what is on the other side. The writers of the episode, Aman Aduma, Angela Ensminger, and Cynthia Fury, have done a fantastic job juggling all of these different plots, especially in this episode. This is probably the episode with the most running plots concurrently with one another. You had so many different plots running at the same time, and they managed to bring them all together in a coherent structure and one that really felt satisfying when it ended. I cannot wait for next week's episode with Mr. Mxyzptlk turning up and what insane plot twists they have in store for us then. And it already looks fantastic since in the promo you get to see Mxyzptlk for the first time and he's just a Dragon Ball Z Kai. It looks fantastic. I can't wait. Episode 6 of My Adventures with Superman really played with my expectations on where the story was going, delivering some really fun twists with the inclusion of Monsieur Moller and the Brain and some real character development between Lois, Clark and Jimmy. I'm going to give this episode a resounding 10 out of 10, so give it a watch over on Adult Swim. But before you do that, why not check out some of my previous reviews on the series or switch gears over to something Marvel themed with the Hellfire Gala issue 1.